Yes, children, today I will be starting with the next part or the topic of the circular system. Yesterday I explained you about the human heart, its location, its structure, and today I will do with you blood vessels entering and leaving the heart, their apertures and the valves. There are various blood vessels that enter or leave the heart, and they are called great blood vessels. Some of the blood vessels they enter the heart. Some of the blood vessels they carry blood from the heart and they move out of the heart. The apertures, that is the opening by which these great blood vessels enter or leave the heart, are guarded by valves like structure, flap like structures called valves. And the function of valves is they allow the blood to flow in one direction. They prevent the backflow of the blood. This is the main concept of valves. These are flap-like structures. Once the blood enters in the blood vessel, if that blood vessel is provided with the valve will not allow the blood to flow back. Now we will do the blood vessels entering the heart. We'll first study the blood vessels entering in the right atrium, right auricle of the heart. Deoxygenated blood from all the body parts is returned into the right atrium of the heart by two main blood vessels. So in the right ventricle, this part of the heart will receive two main blood vessels which will bring deoxygenated blood. And what are those two main blood vessels? The superior or anterior vena cava, this one. Can you see this figure? This is the superior or the anterior, this blue color. Superior or anterior vena cava. These blood vessels bring deoxygenated blood from the anterior or upper parts of the body, including head, neck, chest, and arms, and pour it into the right auricle through an aperture which is not guarded by any valve. There is no valve present in it. It is called precaval. This aperture is called. This opening between the superior vena cava and the blood vessels, when tried to, as it enters into the right ventricle, there is an opening present which is called as precaval. The second main blood vessel is the inferior or posterior vena cava. With the name itself you can make out. This blood vessel will bring deoxygenated blood from the posterior or lower parts, including abdomen and legs, into the right auricle, and its opening is guarded by Eustachius valve. Once this blood vessels from the lower parts will move up, it is moving against gravity. So it has to pour the deoxygenated blood into the chamber called right auricle. So to prevent the backflow, the opening between this blood vessel and the right auricle, there is a valve present called as Eustachius valve. This is the inferior vena cava. And this posterior or inferior vena cava is the largest vein in human body. Now the deoxygenated blood which is collected in the right auricle. This is the right auricle. So from all the body parts, the deoxygenated blood is being poured and is collected in right auricle. The right auricle will contract and pump all the deoxygenated blood into the very next lower to into its right ventricle, and there is an opening between the right, this is right auricle, this is right ventricle. There is an opening between these two parts, and this is called as right auriculoventricular aperture. That is the aperture between the right auricle and ventricle. And this aperture is guarded by three flap-like structure. Can you see this black colored curved structures? 1, 2 and 3. These are flap-like structures and they are cusp in shape. These, because they are 3 in number, this is called as tricuspid valve. One margin of this tricuspid valve is fused with the aperture, and the free margin, this side, the lower side of this tricuspid valve is the free margin, we will find is attached with the, can you see this, thread-like structures, and these thread-like structures are called chordae tendineae. These chordae tendineae, they arise from the inner walls of ventricles having papillary muscles. The papillary muscles of the inner walls of ventricle, not valves, it is wall, divar. Inner wall of the papillary muscles will give rise to these thread-like structures, and they will hold this tricuspid valve, V-A-L-V-E, valve in position. So this is the function of chordae tendineae. That is, they hold the tricuspid valves or the valves in position to prevent their overturning. Now, the blood vessels now entering in the left atrium or left auricle. Now the oxygenated blood from the lungs is collected by 4 pulmonary veins. We have 2 lungs. Each lung will give 2 pulmonary veins. So total 4 pulmonary veins, 2 from each lung, will open into the left auricle. They open into left atrium by a separate aperture. These apertures are without valves. No valves are present. Oxygenated blood, when gets collected in the left auricle, is then pumped. This is the pulmonary vein. Can you see this? 2 from each lung will enter into this left auricle, and left auricle will get the oxygenated blood. This oxygenated blood get collected in the left atrium or auricle and is pumped into the left ventricle. Through an opening between this left auricle and left ventricle, there is an opening which is called as auriculoventricular aperture. This aperture is guarded by 2 valves, 2 flap-like structures, and is called bicuspid or mitral valve. Free margins of the valves are attached to the aperture. The one side of the valves is attached to the aperture, and its free margin is being held in position by chordae tendineae. So these are the free margins. They are attached to thread-like structures called chordae tendineae. Again, these chordae tendineae, they arise from the papillary muscles which are present in the inner walls of the ventricles. Now the blood vessels leaving the heart. So till now I have explained you the blood vessels entering the heart. So the blood vessels which are entering the heart, in the right auricle, two blood vessels are entering, superior vena cava and posterior vena cava. They will bring the deoxygenated blood and will pour into the right auricle. From right auricle, it will go into the right ventricle through the aperture called as right auriculoventricular aperture. And this opening is guarded by, this aperture is guarded by three valves called tricuspid valve, and these valves are held in position by chordae tendineae. Then the other set of blood vessel which is entering in the heart, I explained you, it is in the left auricle. In the left auricle, we will find all the oxygenated blood from the lungs is collected by four pulmonary veins, two from each lungs, and they open into the left auricle by separate apertures. Then one margin of this by the separate apertures, and these apertures have no valves. This left auricle, when will get the oxygenated blood from the lungs by pulmonary veins, this will pour the oxygenated blood into the left ventricle. Through an opening called as left aurioventricular aperture, and this aperture is being guarded by two flap-like structure called as bicuspid valve or mitral valve. And these flap-like structures are held in position by thread-like structures called chordae tendineae. Now we'll do the blood vessels leaving the heart. Number 1, pulmonary artery. It arises from the right ventricle. See this is right ventricle. So at the opening of the right ventricle, you will find a main blood vessel which is arising from this right ventricle, leaving the heart and moves out. And when it moves out, it divides into two branches. And this is called pulmonary artery, the only artery to carry the deoxygenated blood. Otherwise, all the arteries carry oxygenated blood. It is the only artery which carries deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle. The blood will pass, deoxygenated blood will pass into this pulmonary artery. When it moves out of the heart, it divides into two branches. One branch will go into one lung and the other into the other lung for oxygenation. Then this pulmonary artery will find when it arises at its base, there is an opening between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. There is an opening called as pulmonary semilunar valve. A valve is present at its opening called as pulmonary semilunar valve, because this valve is half moon shaped, this shaped. So it is called a semilunar valve. The other blood vessel which is leaving the heart, this arises from the left ventricle, and from the opening of the place from where the left ventricle starts, this main artery arises from there, and there is again in between these two, we will find there is an opening guarded by the walls, the cusp shaped walls, half moon, not cusp shaped but semilunar walls, and it is called as aortic semilunar valve. These valves will allow the blood to flow in one direction. When it moves from the ventricle into the aorta, then the backflow will not take place. These valves will close and prevent the backflow. This is aorta, the biggest artery in the human body. It will leave the heart and will break up into many branches and will provide oxygenated blood to all the body parts. So these are the two main blood vessels leaving the heart: the pulmonary artery leaving the heart from the right ventricle, carrying deoxygenated blood and going to the lungs. The second is aorta, carrying oxygenated blood from the left ventricle, leaving the heart and distributing the oxygenated blood to all the parts of the body. Now we'll find the heart itself is made up of cardiac muscular tissue. Day and night it works. Contraction and pumping of blood takes place. So its function is to receive the deoxygenated blood and to distribute it to for oxygenation. Then it collects oxygenated blood and then it gives out and distribute the oxygenated blood to different parts of the body. But the heart muscles, for carrying this work, also need energy. So their muscular cells also need oxygenated blood. So we'll find a pair of coronary arteries, see here, which arises from the base of aorta. This is the coronary artery, and the function of coronary artery, which arises, its location arises from the base of aorta, just near at the base from where the aorta starts. At its base we'll find a pair of arteries coming out called coronary arteries. They supply the blood to the oxygenated blood to the muscles of heart itself. So their function is to supply oxygenated blood to the heart muscles. So the heart muscles may get blood full of oxygen, and that they will use for carrying their function. Any blockage in any of the this coronary artery will break up into many branches. If there is any blockage in any of the branches of coronary artery, that will result in the deadening of the heart muscles. In that particular area, the heart muscles will die because of the no supply of oxygen. This causes pain in the chest, and a person suffers from a heart problem called myocardial infarction. That is simply heart attack, or a simple language we call it heart attack. It causes pain in chest and is called angina pectoris, is pain in chest. Now these coronary arteries with its branches will supply oxygenated blood to the heart muscle cells. From the heart muscle cells, the coronary veins will collect the deoxygenated blood and will carry it and will provide it to this will collect and provide it and pour it into the right auricle. So thank you children. Till here we have done today. Remaining we'll do tomorrow.